How's it going, everyone? I know it's been a while, and I apologize for it. It's the holidays, and things have just been all over the place. But today, I want to bring this story to your attention, and it's unfortunately it's not a heartfelt one, but it speaks on the issues that we as Americans like. It's why we voted Trump, and why things need to change. And this is a story of, or just a coverage of the death of a little girl named Ivory Smith. She was killed um by an illegal immigrant from Venezuela who was drunk driving. She dies and her mother is, or was at this time possibly, in a hospital fighting for her life. Now, I want you to take a step back and just watch or pay attention to how there's not as much coverage over this little girl losing her life versus what we just had in the case of Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely. Was it Jordan Neely? I want to make sure I get his name right. Jordan Neely? Yes, Jordan Neely. You had BLM come out full force for Jordan's death, only because it was a white man who was involved with it. Now, granted, he wasn't the only one involved. There was another black man that was involved, and many of the subway patrons who were people of color spoke out in praises of Daniel Penny's bravery and the willingness to step in and be the hero, right? Which, let's face it, the media, the left, the cabal, however you want to label it, they don't want men to actually be men. When you think about it, back in the day, true men would stand up for the weak, whether it be the children, the women, or those who could not defend themselves, even if they were men, right? They would always step in, and they wouldn't be afraid to do what was right, which is what Penny did. But back to the sad story of Ivory Smith. 7. She was just, she was young, baby. And I want you to watch this news coverage, and also there is a GoFundMe for the family, which is crazy because, like, when BLM comes out, now I understand BLM isn't who they used to be in regards to their status. I want to say after they were exposed by Candace Owens, shout out to her. But you would think that their GoFundMe would be super exceeding the goal of which they are trying to reach, because it's a little girl. You're talking about funeral expenses, you're talking about the mom's medical bills, and it's gotten let me see where this is at the moment. Hold on one sec. All right, so at the time of this recording, on the GoFundMe page for Ivory, the goal is 80 grand, and so far they've raised over 75 grand. Now, to me, honestly, personally, if this story fit the narrative, then that goal would have been reached in no time, and would have super exceeded, of course, their original goal. But again, it doesn't fit the narrative. And shout out to Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum. Check him out on YouTube as well. for covering this story. That's how I came about it. But without further ado, check out this video of the coverage of the the monster who is responsible for killing this little girl.
That a man accused of killing a 7-year-old girl while driving intoxicated last week was let off of an immigration hold just a few months before the tragedy. Fox 26's Abigail Dye joins us live with these new developments.
Sherman, the suspect is a non-U.S. citizen, we're told, a Venezuelan national. And with his criminal history here in Harris County, the big question is, should he have been out of custody when this tragedy happened? Should he have even been in the U.S.? The death of 7-year-old Ivory Smith made headlines fast.
He's taking her away from us. We wasn't ready. She's 7.
On December 1st, the second grader was killed in a crash that sent her mom, the driver, to the hospital for nearly a week. Investigators saying Joel Enrique Gonzalez Chacin is to blame for running a red light while intoxicated.
If he wasn't out drinking and driving, she would be with us right now, and we wouldn't be at court.
We told you how Chacin was put on an immigration hold.
Yes, so currently the bond amount is at $150,000. The reason that is he has an ICE hit, so if he is to make that bond, he has to deal with the immigration side as well. That is not likely to be made.
And now we've learned this isn't the first time he's been on an ICE hold. Records show earlier this year he was arrested for assaulting a family member.
And he was taken into custody in June. There was immediately an ICE hold placed on him. I mean, he couldn't bond out.
The felony was dropped to a misdemeanor, and he was sentenced to 113 days in jail.
And the reason it was 113 days, because that was the time he had already served. So basically, he just pled guilty and walked out the door because the ICE hold was lifted the day he pled guilty.
I reached out to ICE Houston to ask why that initial hold was lifted. They told me that Chacin is a Venezuelan national and some information on his current hold, but didn't disclose anything on the June hold due to privacy regulations.
Or why was that hold lifted when he discharged his sentence? If they had kept that hold on him, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You had a 7-year-old girl that would be alive today, and you had a mother that wouldn't be seriously injured.
And those questions still remain. Now, Ivory's mom, Christina, she is out of the hospital. She was released on Friday, but she still has a long road to recovery, according to the family. They sent me a lengthy statement tonight saying, in part, what's even more troubling is the fact that this individual was released after being detained earlier this year, only to find themselves back in custody after causing irreparable harm. Why do we have holds in place if they fail to keep dangerous individuals off the street? You can read that full statement and the response that I got from ICE Houston if you click on this story on fox26houston.com. Reporting live in downtown, I'm Abigail Dye with Fox 26 News.
All right, so you saw that and you heard this guy should have never been released. We honestly at this point, this administration, Biden and Harris administration, and yes, it's still Harris because you idiots wanted her to be the next president. And since she lost, she has been like incognito, MIA. All right. She's just been flying under the radar. She has not, she is still in the vice presidential role, and she has not proven herself worthy. If she comes out talking about she wants to run in 2028. No, you need to just, no. Inti hoot. This is why we voted for Trump, okay? We do have enough monsters living amongst us. We should not be open to inviting more. This illegal who came across took this innocent baby's life, ruined the family's lives forever. You never get over the death of a loved one, ever. And the fact that he was just given it was just like a slap on the wrist, honestly. It's already illegal to come across our border illegally, even though the administrations prior, exempting Trump, did not exercise that law, um, that he should have never been here. And had he not been here, many Americans who died at the hands of those illegals would still be alive. Ivory should have been able to grow up and achieve the goals that she had set for herself. She was what, like second grade? And she should have never had to lose her life because of an administration who just wanted to just rig a bunch of stuff. You think at how many lives have been altered. Not everyone has lost a life, no, but every life has been impacted because this administration has taken more resources and applied them to those who don't belong here. They've not paid into the system. They have nothing to offer us, actually. And you talking about them skipping ahead, like those who come here legally, right? They understand what it means they hold that dearly. That American dream, that concept dearly. They actually put into the system, right? We hear countless stories of these illegals who come over and all they've done is destroy lives and communities. Why is it that they get extra funding, but we have our own citizens who were born here, who paid into this system? When I mean system, I mean Social Security. I saw somewhere earlier where California is talking about giving illegals I think it's yearly or monthly check. For what? That's coming out of your tax dollars. If you want to really like get into it, that is modern day slavery. We're working our butts off and our money is being given to those who don't belong here. Many of you might not grasp that concept. It may be beyond your brain cell count. But however, I see that as modern day slavery. I'm waking up and going to work every freaking day. All right? I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm paying my taxes. I pay my bills. I take care of mine. But then there's also a part of what I do, my check, is going towards those whose money don't even come towards me. They're not paying taxes. They're not paying into the system. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nasally, my sinuses right now. But they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You've seen where others who like, okay, small business loans, right? You've seen where there have been resources offered to illegals that aren't offered to our own who are actually citizens here. Why are they given a handout versus our own? It should always be Americans first. And I consider this an early Christmas gift. Trump and Vance and the A-team coming into the White House. I really, truly do. Because, and I'm going off topic here, with baby girl, they called her baby girl, beloved baby girl Ivory Smith. And I am going to link their GoFundMe in the description. So please, if you feel like you want to give, if maybe you've been trying to find something to give to, or you wanted to be a blessing to someone else, I consider Ivory's GoFundMe if that's how you feel moved. But back to it, this is why we voted Trump, okay? We've gotten tired of being overlooked and mistreated. We have our own veterans out in the streets tonight enduring winter cold. And we're giving money to immigrants who don't belong here. They have nothing to contribute. Just because you have the option or the ability to come here does not mean you should be here. Y'all don't like to hear that. Y'all don't just allow anyone to come into your home, right? You don't just allow your money to go to anyone you come across, right? If someone comes up to you, you might not be willing to give them money because, I don't know, you seem a bit sketch. Or you might be having a party and you don't think that you should invite this other person, this other coworker, because, I don't know, man, I'm not feeling it type of situation. The same way, I honestly believe, the same way you are quick to defend your home, your car, whatever possessions you own, you should be taking that same approach with the illegals who are trying to come here. Not all of them bring the warm and fuzzies. Crime has gone up despite what the lamestream media has put out. Crime has shot up. Again, I can't remember if I said this on this channel or in passing somewhere else, but I know people who live in a liberal state. Hardcore liberals. Okay, I can talk paint into changing its color without me having to paint it, all right? That's how difficult it is to deal with these clowns. But going back to it, they voted into the system, right? They voted for the left. They voted for this craziness. And now that you are seeing the results of your voting actions, you're wanting to protect yourself. And by I mean protect yourself, you want to exercise your Second Amendment. Now you say you like the Second Amendment, you can't have life without Second Amendment, right? But you vote for those who go against your Second Amendment. Make it make sense. Anywho, they live in a liberal state, they come and visit a red state, and they try to purchase their Second Amendment rights while they're in said red state, because their blue state, from which they have voted into, makes it difficult for them to exercise that Second Amendment to which they have the ability to access if they lived in said red state. Make it make sense. Liberal logic, man. The math, I'm not the best at math. I think I was pretty good in algebra, but when you start talking trig and calculus and all them other specials, nah, fam, I did good. I did good with where I was. I think problem and stat was actually, you know what, that was my jam back in. Anyway, itty hoot. I say this to say this. Look, this baby, she shouldn't have had to die at the hands of Biden. Harris have blood on their hands, and I think they should answer for it, honestly. All of those who fell under them, Mayorkas and the other guy that, like Kamala was border czar, and they just allowed all of this stuff to happen. I think there should definitely be accountability for it. But I'm a post a link in the description. Please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. I know it's been a while. I'll apologize. I apologize, not I'll apologize. I apologize, but I intend on 2025 being, a bit the year to build more. We'll say it that way. But thanks to all who continue to rock and swing by and grace me with your presence. Let's keep the truth going. And if I don't have another one before, after today, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.